My hair looks so f***ing mess, but okay.
All right, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more. Hey guys, my name's Andy.
And I'm Abe.
Division Media Group here in the house with another lighting tutorial. This last
How many
week,
is it? Is it like the 5th?
I think this is the 5th.
Yeah, let's go with
This
that.
is kind of a sequel to the last one.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna be talking about using motivated lighting without a practical. Now, why is this a thing?
Why is it a thing?
A lot of times we don't have the resources to have on-set practicals to kind of motivate the lighting. And a few shoots in the past, I've learned how to create off-screen practicals. And before we show you how, this is the scene that we got.
Are you serious?
What? Cool, right? I liked it.
We're back?
Yeah.
We need to do like a announcement or something. I was like in the middle.
Like a big card.
Yeah. All right, so going back to what I originally said, motivated lighting without a practical. We just have to understand what the natural physics of a practical would do to a space. In the film world, we have a term called hotspot, which is your hottest point to where that source of light is hitting and creating a hotspot where it's the brightest. The way to cheat it when you don't have practicals is you just create an off-screen orb without necessarily showing the hotspot, and that's gonna give the illusion that there's some sort of lumens coming from that side of the screen.
It would imply that there's some kind of lamp or light
Yeah.
source nearby, which is why we would see this light in the first place. Because it's not like things are lit with no source.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be implied when you don't have props. That's why it's important to take care of your prop department.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't forget about your prop masters. Have some respect for the prop masters.
I mean,
out
don't
there.
forget about anyone. Everyone on the
Yeah.
crew is hardworking,
Yeah.
except the AD. The AD is just,
Yeah, ADs are,
they're
nobody
just out
likes
to
the
get
AD.
you. All right, so first things first, before you even, with or without a practical, you gotta know what is your motivated light, what is your ambient light, what are the colors and shapes that are being created with the light within that space. So we decided we're gonna have an exterior light coming in, we're gonna have a practical inside the bedroom, one in the mid-ground in the living space, and one in the kitchen. The next part, we really didn't have a plan for it. We just kind of had an idea, and we just literally drew it up as we were developing the idea.
Which happens a lot when you're on set. You start out with a concept and then you try to execute, and sometimes it doesn't come out as you had planned, and then things change, and sometimes it works out for the better, sometimes it doesn't. But it's always good to be really good at improvising when you're on a set. So you always have to be prepared for things to not go your way, especially if you're doing lights.
Yeah, on top of that, the beauty about these lighting exercises is not only that we get to share with you, the viewers, but also we literally call this our creative gym because it allows us to practice our craft.
Strengthen that muscle, that lighting.
It's a muscle. It's a creative muscle, and like the saying goes, you never want to wait for an opportunity to start training. You want to train for the opportunity when it comes.
You want to be ready.
You want to be ready. So, and it's a bit applicable. Like the sets we've been on lately, like there's things that we're like, oh my God, I can't believe we did this like 2 weeks ago, or oh wow, thank God
we just did a video about this. We know exactly how to set this up.
Like when we did the book lighting on the latest short film we worked on.
So now let's get into the nitty-gritty.
All right, so I always like to start with my exterior light since it's the light that I can control. Remember, always work with the lights you can control. And we wanted...
Why?
Why?
You can't control it.
Can't control it. It's out of control.
It's uncontrollable.
So work with it, collaboration. So the light outside that was being motivated was moonlight. So we got our Godox M600D and we put the Fresnel attachment on it and just put it on flood at a high angle so it can cast through the blinds and create like nice little textures and all that.
Now, Andy, I don't think you've clarified this in any previous video. What is a Fresnel and what does it do?
A Fresnel lens is simply a telescopic glass element that either spreads the light or concentrates it and also amplifies it.
Imagine a lens on a camera.
Yeah, you're just literally concentrating the light source and also gives you more output.
So now that we have our outside light set up, we decided to move on to the next most important light, which is what's gonna illuminate our subject, the very center of attention in the frame, AKA our friend Sarah. Thank you, Sarah, for being part of this.
Shout out Sarah. Hey! So already we knew that we had our anticipated motivated lights. I wanted to start with the mid-ground, so we wanted to have a green hue to it. It's very faint, very desaturated. It was some sort of like green fluorescent vibe. So we got our Amaran F21C and we just flooded the room slightly, and that was the light that was gonna motivate the off-screen source. If you see, it's kind of pointed slightly to the corner, so that way you only get like half of the orb that's emanating from the light source. But if you look at it, it kind of looks like there's a light off screen. That's the intention. The next light that we want to set up is the kitchen light. We wanted something creative. This was a whole creative seduction. So I literally told Abraham.
That's me.
That's him. Pick whatever color. And I walked away, and the first color you picked was like, what, a yellowish?
It was like a yellow, but I didn't like how it looked.
Yeah.
So then I started to get like warmer and warmer. And I started thinking about really what the inspiration for the scene was. And there's like, betrayal. I think she would feel a lot of anger in this situation. So I thought red might be a good kind of symbolic color to be behind her.
Yeah.
So I went with red in the kitchen.
So we went with red. We put it over the stove, over the hood, so that way it would light the background while also creating shadows under the cabinets to create a little bit more contrast. And it was really cool. Mm-hmm. It was really nice. Mm-hmm. So now that we have our off-screen motivated lighting, we want to create separation between foreground and background.
This is where we get creative.
Yeah. So originally we started with the MT Pro, and we put her over her left side on to match the green hue to start creating a separation. But then you can kind of see that our subject had a very light skin tone, so she was very reflective, and it was still seeming a little too flat. So I was wondering, practically speaking, the kitchen light wouldn't be strong enough to create a rim light. But right. The beauty of cinema is that we can always make our own reality.
Yeah.
So
one thing to keep in mind, when you're working with a subject who's very fair-skinned and with very fair hair, they tend to be very reflective. So that's something to always want to be aware of whenever lighting someone with these attributes.
And my solution to that was using the kitchen light as another rim light. So I decided to get the Small Rig Pitts 160, and I dialed it to a red tone to match the kitchen light and put it on her right side. And to my surprise, it did exactly what it did. It kind of almost created like a negative fall off and creating better separation. I was really happy. So already we have our mid-ground, background, and our foreground, but as we always say, we can always do better.
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 The thing I felt that was lacking was that the room itself felt a little too cold, and it just needed something to pop it up.
It didn't feel lived in.
Yeah, and normally in most rooms you have a desk lamp or some sort of like nightstand lamp, some sort of like lamp. So I got my Godox M1 and I dialed that down all the way to 2000 Kelvin and kind of put it off screen with same intentions, enough to see the orb but not enough to see the hot spot, and it really did something. Essentially, that's how we got this shot. It was all kind of like what ifs. It's just part of the creative journey. It's part of the creative gym.
Yeah. The best part about these is that we don't have any kind of tech days or rehearsals or anything.
Yeah.
So we have a concept in mind and a lighting scenario in mind, and then once we set it up, we start making the necessary tweaks to kind of fit that vision.
Yeah, we have like a regimen in mind of what we want to achieve or approach, and it's just a matter of like
we come in with the foundation and then we build from the ground up as soon as we get there.
And I mean, you'll guys see ahead, I'm sure. Don't think that this is all perfectly aligned and always happens as we want.
There's always a setback.
We have days that it doesn't look as we wanted. Sometimes time is short, sometimes things are just kind of going against you.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Don't feel discouraged if you're dissatisfied with whatever it is that you produce, because that happens to anybody. Even Tarantino is sometimes not happy with some of the things that he's made. So what do people do? You try again.
Yeah, you try again. This is the beauty of, again, these creative gyms, that you're not binded by a budget, you're not binded by anything that's gonna be detrimental. Detrimental? Detrimental. Mm-hmm. Anything that's gonna be detrimental, it's just a matter of like making time and fixing it and learning. That's the most important part. It's okay to mess up, just make sure that you learn from that, you move on and share that knowledge like what we are doing.
Knowledge is power, as they say. That's it. That's all we got for you. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to like, subscribe, comment, bell icon. Follow us on Instagram.
The plugs,
we gotta do plugs. Follow us on Instagram. We also have a podcast on Apple Podcast and Spotify Podcast.
And
what else?
Google.
And Google Podcast.
Yeah.
That's 3 sources that you can listen to our podcast, which has 5 episodes out right now.
If you can't find it, then that's we gotta
you're
send us an email, because there's something going on.
Yeah, write to us at this email right here.
I just imagine us kind of like humoring the idea that Ria's gonna do all this structural thing, and then when we receive the daily, it's like something fucking different.
Yeah, it's just like one long take, this whole take, unedited.
Surprise. I think by now you should know where these videos end, so feel free to put it in the comments if you know.
More to come too.
More to come.
So stay tuned, because there's a lot of stuff coming.
We got some new gear, and we might do unboxing. Actually, we already did unboxing.
We already shot the unboxing.
We're gonna edit the unboxing, so that's gonna be stuff to come. We're just visionaries trying to create and seeing how we can share this knowledge, because what's the contrary is not the best either. What are we gonna do? Just
sit around and do nothing all day?
We already do that, 9 to 5. I mean, oh shit. Just be a visionary.
Yeah, and tell your friends.
To be visionaries.
No, to comment, like, subscribe, turn the bell icon, go on our Instagram, like all our posts, put the bell icon also on the Instagram, follow us on Instagram, listen to the first podcast with Anthony, listen to the second podcast with Calvin. They could also listen to the third podcast with Zach. That was a good one. Then they can listen to the 4th podcast with Mariana, and then the new one that's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks is going to be with our friend Alex, so they can listen to that one too. They can also go and email us whenever they need some kind of production, whether it's production management, whether it's lights.
Now I think you're going on a tangent.
Whether it's lights, gaffing, you can do. We also do camera. We do production management, so we can run the production for you. And there's a lot of things that we can do. So what I would say is that you go and you subscribe to everything that we have. And on top of that, you comment and you tell us things to do. You give us some requests. We could even have something like where you reach out to us, and then we do like a Q&A of whatever it is that you want.
Is he done yet? That was excessive. Just do whatever he said. Thank you guys for watching, and
we're also going to be doing some short films too, so we might start doing short films and then probably put them into festivals. So if you want to go on the festival,
thanks for watching, and be a visionary, guys. Thank you for your love. Bye.